combinations and probability questions. So these questions come up and they can look really, really confusing. Some of them, though, are almost based. It almost comes down to, is that really that easy? So local pizza place, many options are available to customers, blah, blah, blah. A large one-topping pizza costs $8.99. That's a pretty good deal. That's Little Caesars right there, pretty much. Only one crust, one sauce can be chosen. One topping, one crust, one sauce. How many different $8.99 pizzas can be made? First and foremost, $8.99 doesn't matter. That's one of those things where that number never enters into it. It may feel tempting or whatever, but we could just look at our choices, and it's got to be a different kind of pizza, or whatever. If it can only be one, Highlander, if there can only be one from each of these lists, there's 5 types of toppings, 3 kinds of crusts, 4 kinds of sauce, we just multiply them. And that kind of question almost seems too good to be true. So it's one of those that's like on the upper right, tricky, not really difficult, but just kind of tricky, quirky, weird question that's fast. It doesn't take a ton of time. So the $8.99 doesn't mean anything, but if it's only one pick of whatever the thing is, then just multiply the numbers together, and that's what we can get. So I'm going to look at the walkthrough here, and it's like, that's crazy how that straightforward that is. Now there's other kinds of questions, and I'm going to skip back 2 questions that are in the bottom right part of the grid where they're super difficult and probably not worth the fight. This is worth the fight. 5 times 3 times 4. These questions, 11 people are running a race. What's the best way to represent them, all the ways they can finish out? This exclamation point means 11 times 10 times 8 times 9, whatever, all the way down to 1. And that's 3 times whatever, all the way down to 1. There's a formula for that is not on the formula sheet. It is something to be memorized, and it is something way down the road on math. If we focus a ton of time on this, we could use that time and energy to learn 4 other things. So I suggest the time and energy, take your best guess at that kind of question or this kind of question. A group of students is elected to be class representatives. Which of these mean something? Which of these represent the number of ways 4 students could be elected? It's like a 20-horse race. How could the first 4, all the different combinations? And we're picking a formula. So this was honestly a guess, and we got it right. And the other question was a guess, and we got it wrong. All that time can go to, a question like this that's fairly straightforward. So if there can only be one from each one, just multiply the numbers together and we're good. The exercise in this is to take care of yourself on the test. Mental health, got to be strong, deep breath, take care of yourself. If we walk into every question thinking each question is trying to figure out what we don't know, then we will slowly feel more and more negative. Instead, look at each question as a puzzle, going, what can I figure out? And be so familiar with their kinds of questions that we don't get beat down. We're going to get tired. We're going to get, ready to be just done with the tests. 46 questions is a lot. But we don't want on one question to just go, oh my God, everything's going to hang on this question. Probably not. Probably not a question like those last 2. So we can do our best. And I'm just going to keep the thing rolling. I don't know what the next question is going to be, but I'm excited. And then there's this. You have 2 vicious questions, and then they go, what's the range? Remember, there's 4 things when it comes to stats. We put them from highest to lowest. First thing was median, put them in order. That's the middle one. Mode shows up the most. Range is the highest minus the lowest. And mean is the average. So median is the middle number. Oops. Mode is whichever number shows up the most. Range is the highest minus the lowest. And mean is add them up and divide by the number of numbers. Or that's the average. So range, all we do is take the biggest number and subtract the lowest number. These both are 4s. There's 2 4s, and there's a 5, there's 3 9s, and a 10. So we just and that's it. And those questions are equal in value. That incredibly difficult question before and this one, equal in value. Might as well get this one right and keep ourselves sharp and focused. Talk positively to ourselves. Look at that. Boom, boom, boom. Positive self-talk is key.